Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna be walking around Castle of Versailles, which is located 22 kilometers southwest of central Paris. The Baroque chateau was the kingdom's political capital and the seat of the royal court from 1682 up until the fateful events of 1789, when revolutionaries massacred the palace guard. Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were ultimately dragged back to Paris, where they were ingloriously guillotined. So let's have a look at this magnificent palace amid magnificently landscaped formal gardens. This splendid and enormous palace was built in the mid-17th century during the reign of Louis XIV, the Roi Soleil, also known as a Sun King, to project the absolute power of the French monarchy, which was then at the height of its glory. The chateau has undergone relatively few alterations since its construction, though almost all the interior furnishing disappeared during the Revolution, and many of the rooms were rebuilt by Louis Philippe, the king that was in charge of France between 1830, when the French monarchy was reinstalled, in 1848. Work on the palace in this area began in 1661 under the guidance of architect Louis Lobat and many more proficient interior designers, painters, and landscape artists. Workers flattened the hills, drained marshes, and relocated forests as they laid out the seemingly endless gardens, ponds, and fountains. Lebrun, who was interior designer, and his hundreds of artisans decorated every molding, cornice, ceiling, and door of the interior with the most luxurious and ostentatious of appointments, frescoes, marble, gilt, and wood carvings, many with themes and symbols drawn from Greek and Roman mythology. The king's suite of the Grand Apartments de Roi, or known as King's and Queen's State Apartments, for example, included rooms dedicated to Hercules, Venus, Diana, Mars, and Mercury. The present chapel of the Palace of Versailles is the fifth in the history of the palace. These chapels evolved with the expansion of the chateau and formed the focal point of the daily life of the court during the Ancien Regime, also known as the Old Regime, was the political and social system of the Kingdom of France in the late Middle Ages between 1500s and 1789. The opulence reaches its peak in the Galerie des Glaciers Hall of Mirrors, a 75-meter long ballroom with 17 huge mirrors on one side, and on the other side an equal number of windows looking out over the gardens and the setting sun. The origins of the name Versailles and its etymology tends to privilege the Latin word versarse, meaning to keep turning, turn over and over, an expression used in medieval times for plowed lands, cleared lands, lands that has been repeatedly turned over, basically a farmland. But from May 1682, when Louis XIV moved the court and government permanently to Versailles, until his death in September 1715, Versailles was the unofficial capital of the Kingdom of France. For the next 7 years, during the regency of Philippe d'Orléans, the royal court of the young King Louis XV was the first in Paris, while the regent governed from his Parisian residence, the Palais Royal. Versailles was again the unofficial capital of France from June 1722, when Louis XV returned to Versailles, until October 1789, when a Parisian mob forced Louis XVI and the royal family to move to Paris. Versailles again became an official capital of France from March 1871, when the government took refuge in Versailles, fleeing the insurrection of the Paris Commune, until November 1879, when the newly elected government and parliament returned to Paris. During the various periods when government affairs were conducted from Versailles, Paris remained the official capital of France. Versailles is also an important node for the French army, a tradition going back to the monarchy, with, for instance, the military camp of Satory and other institutions. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please share, like, subscribe or comment. Any of those things will help my channel immensely. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the video.